What's up? What's up? What's up? Bravo Zulu listeners. Dare I even say fans? I don't know. Maybe we're not there yet. Hey, welcome back to episode number 89. Lucky enough for this week, I'm able to get 2 of these episodes out, right? I was like, I hit that fader action for you. I'm playing. Hey, welcome back to another show. This will be the second show this week, Memorial Weekend. It's Sunday right now. I'm in the studio recording this for a later drop this week. So, quick moment of silence for the Memorial Day. And we're back. And that's not to be a jackass about it. It's just no one likes too much, like a whole minute of dead air silence, right? But, let's remember Monday, Memorial Day, and those who served and lost their lives on the railroad, okay? So, getting into this show is for my civilian listeners. This is, you guys should relate because it's one of those hot button topics, Yeah, well, we're talking about buttons. When this gets posted on YouTube, go ahead and give me the finger and subscribe, all that good stuff. And it touches your heart, go ahead and share it with someone else. Oh, man, got a booger in my eye. So it could touch their heart, too. All right, so let's get into it. I'm on the U.S. Naval Institute page, and I was looking for something to talk about. Sorry. I'm at the garage, man. It's like dusty. I got to clean it. And I came across a great one, right? Eliminate toxic leadership. So I was like, oh, wow. Always an interesting topic to talk about or to read about. This is from this month's issue of their Proceedings magazine. This is Eliminate Toxic Leadership by Lieutenant Commander Courtney Callaghan, or Callahan. I'm not sure if it's a G in there or not. U.S. Navy. And it's somewhat lengthy. And yeah, so we're going to get into it again with these ones. I'll try to go quick, but not too fast where I could get all my thoughts out. I'm going to read the paragraphs as much as I think needs to be read, in my opinion. Links will be in the show notes on wherever you're listening to, so check it out if you want to read it in full detail yourself. All right, so let's kick this off. As a result-based organization, the U.S. Navy bases its promotion considerations on the ability to get the job done, no matter the hurdles. When damaging leadership behaviors are allowed to exist in an environment that combines expansive authority over vulnerable followers and a competitive, cutthroat culture with few checks and balances, it can cultivate toxic leadership. She has a lot of citations in here with the the little numbers by the words, and that's like her first. This is a book, whatever. I'm not going to get into all citations. Again, the link to it in the show notes. Go check it out. Take a read for yourself. So sorry about that. First sentence. Boom. Considerations on ability to get the job done, no matter the hurdle. Yeah, right. That's a big yes, right? No matter how you need to get it done, chief. Get it done first class, get it done whoever, right? And usually something along there is like, hey, as long as you're being legal and being safe, I really don't care. And that's something that comes out of my mouth most of the time, right? About how you get it done, right? Now, that could be, like I say, legal and safe, get it done, and there's hopefully no toxicity about it. Or it could be, conceived or perceived as toxic. I don't know. How's camera 2 looking? Oh, camera 2, check out the studio. We're looking good. All right, so let's move on. With few checks and balances. So that's the key, I think, right there. Straight out the gate, cutthroat culture with few checks and balances. Well, there's few. They're in there. So immediately I'm going to start thinking, what are they and how well are they used and implemented at the various stations throughout? Right? A command, a division, whatever level you're at, right? How are they used and implemented to prevent toxic leadership? Because there are tools, maybe not many, maybe not enough. Maybe some people feel they're not the right ones, but there are tools. And, if you have tool, again, was one of those things. If the only tool you have, though, is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail, right? So maybe we do need some more tools, more checks and balances. But let's get into more. Toxic leaders degrade readiness. Yep. Lower organizational performance and efficiency. Yep. Negatively affect retention and can devastate subordinates' mental health. That's like one of the biggest ones out there. And all of the military, the Navy right now especially, just because that's what I know. right? There's a direct, significant relationship between subordinates. I hate that word. I fucking hate that word. But between subordinates' perception of their leaders' toxic traits and how stressed they feel on the job. Okay, and then she has a citation there. Toxic leadership also has been linked to increased subordinate cynicism. Cynicism? College word. Someone help me out. Jump into the YouTube comments. Let me know. Cynicism. What does it mean? And negative attitudes towards their organization. So, I mean, straight out the gate, a lot of hard, heavy hitting stuff that, like, if you're out there, you should be shaking your head like, yeah, yep. All yups, all across the board, right? Direct, significant relationship between subordinates' perception of their leaders. But that's a good one too, right? Because the subordinate can perceive that leader as toxic because of X, Y, Z, but maybe someone else, a peer or a senior person, perceives that leader as a person that just gets it done, right? No matter the hurdle, they're getting it done, right? But again, so it's like, how are we looking at it? Which way? Who's looking at it which way? And how is it being perceived? Of course, the senior person might not, or no matter how they're perceiving it, but they're not going to be as affected because usually the toxicity is felt in a downward trajectory, right? Whereas the person one level above, even if it's just barely a level or something, or even a peer, can sit back like, well, they're not telling me shit, so I don't feel nothing. But that person in that work center that works for that first class or that chief, right? Or even something like, look, toxic leadership is at all ranks. There's plenty of second classes out there, plenty of third classes out there that have been there for a while, that when a new person comes on, start shitting on them day one on the ship. That is toxic leadership. This isn't fucking khaki, special, okay? Although a lot of it is khakis, it's not khaki special. So, there's plenty of toxicity to be spread and go around for everyone, all right? And the first sentence is also degrades readiness and lower organizational performance and efficiency, negatively affects retention. The retention thing, I'm not so worried about. I've talked about that in recent episodes, right? But the organizational performance and efficiency, degrading readiness. If you have that person and they're dragging everyone down and it's making the command in general not better, yeah, that's a problem, right? Worse, next paragraph. Worse, subordinates often feel powerless to report toxic leaders, resulting in those leaders' continual promotion to positions with increased responsibility and authority, R&A. In a 2015 study, 91% of the U.S. Army respondents reported personally working with or observing toxic leaders during their careers, and 23% reported witnessing leaders with reputations of toxic behavior being promoted. And okay, we'll stop right there. No shit. When they say careers, I kind of automatically think a 20-year career. If you do a 20-year career, if you do a 10-year career, a 5-year, even your first enlistment, 4 years, you're probably going to see it somewhere, right? It's kind of a really broad generalization right there, right? Personally working with or observing. So did you observe it your morning walk to your office building and you saw the chief or the khaki, or in the Army, your, was it first sergeant, sergeant major or something, fucking dressing someone down for walking on the grass or some shit? So then in your mind that registered as toxic because you saw it from afar, but you don't know them and you didn't personally get to experience that interaction. Not that you haven't felt other ones, but what if that's that one instance that is in your mind of a toxic leader that one time in your 4 years? So you say yes, right? It's kind of, so if that's the case, yeah, no shit, 91%. Like, duh. 73% reported witnessing leaders with reputations of toxic. So who applies those reputations? And again, so it's kind of, if the junior sailor is the one applying it and there's 10, 15, 20, 100 junior sailors to one senior toxic leader, don't you think the message of this person is going to get around, of this toxic leader is going to get around within the shop or something? If I check into a new command and everyone hates the Divo because they think the Divo sucks or something, what's going to be the first thing the junior sailors are going to say? Hey, man, don't fuck with the Divo. Watch your back around the Divo. Watch your back around the chief. Hey, the first class is all about himself. He only fucking cares about making chief. Da 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 da. And so then I'm going to be like, oh, fuck, I got toxic leadership here. because like you said, toxic leadership is in and out of the military. It's a trigger buzzword, red button across corporate America right now, which the military is a part of. Don't fool yourself. In the same study, 70% of participants had seriously considered leaving the service because of their. Excuse me, it's getting late. I'm getting tired. Leaving the service because of their personal experience with a toxic leader. Okay, that's fair, right? I mean, I don't blame them. If it's your first enlistment or something, first tour, or your first tour officer or something, and you had a toxic leader, what the fuck would make you want to stick around for it? So, 70%, I don't blame them. With the significant gap in published Navy research on leadership, one can only extrapolate that the Army's research extends to the Navy. Kind of don't like that. It's kind of like apples and oranges, but also they're both fruit. Like, if there's no information about the Navy, then just be like, there's no information for the Navy. Don't be like, oh, yeah, it's probably all like the same. Yeah, would I say the numbers are probably high? Sure. But don't just fuck, like, the Army's had their own fucking problems of fighting wars, boots on the ground for the last 20 years, having to fucking deal with shit, right? There's influences that they've had affect them more than us. Yeah, op tempo and everything, very high. A lot of deployments to the Gulf, been there, done it. But I wouldn't, again, apples and oranges, both fruit, though. Peer-reviewed academic research clearly links toxic leadership to suicide. Oh, no bueno. A toxic command climate can trigger suicidal ideation, the same as enemy contact. That's kind of fucked up, huh? If you're going to a toxic climate and it's considered to be the same as enemy contact, so you're not feeling like you're on the same team. You're not like feeling like you're going to that, not a safe space, but a safe work environment, right? There's enough fucking mechanical dangers on a ship in the Navy anyways, only to be feeling like you're unsafe because there's a toxic leader somewhere amidst in your area, right, on board. Okay, again, it doesn't even have to be in your division or work center. It could just be one on board that everyone's feeling the impact of, and you're like, fuck, you're scared to go walking down the P-way because you never know if that person comes around the corner or something, and it's that morning that she's gonna light you up and be like, boom, 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 shit on your day, and you're like, fuck, yep, fucking glad I'm here today, right? So that's pretty tragic that it's considered the same as enemy contact. Tragic that it happens, I guess. Toxic leadership is just as dangerous to the mental health of service members as experience under fire in combat. That's so the enemy contact thing I can relate to, like not relate to, but kind of understand it and grasp a little bit more. But like the experiences under fire in combat, I can't, never been in fire under combat. I can see like just the work environment, like feeling like someone's your enemy. I can understand that, but like actual fire in combat, like, I don't know. I just feel like that's a reach. Enemy contact had a citation number. This next sentence didn't. Maybe it's in that book that she's citing. I don't know. I'm not feeling that part, honestly. Like, you could go to work and feel like motherfuckers are snakes, right? It's a whole nother level to go to work and be like getting shot at. Okay. Like, words aren't bullets, right? They can hurt you and break you down somewhat in the mentals. Bullets fucking end your life completely. Okay, so I don't know. Jury's out on that one for me. Don't like that comparison. It's one of those like sentences. Someone maybe should have edited it. Anyways, one of these triggers is entirely preventable. Yes, the toxic leadership part, right? Duh. The Navy should make every effort to remediate and eliminate toxic leaders from its ranks. Yeah, that's getting into like the bigger concern, right? Like what do they call it? Zero failure Navy. Like, can you never fuck up? And as soon as you fuck up, you're done. Career over. Is there no getting back? And so the next part of a lot of this goes into like this program or something from some book or something, where it says like how they should be graded and this and that. We'll get into that. So like, if that's the case, then they should be able to, there should be some redemption story for them, right? You're a new leader, you're new whatever in a new place. First command, first this tour, first that tour. And you fuck up, so you're done. Like, yeah, toxic leadership isn't cool, right? Having a shitty leader is no fun, but like just from that one, you're just absolutely done. I don't know. I think if it's a repeated, like if you're on your second tour and it's the same thing, right? Going into this grading system that this lady puts out, this lieutenant commander, then maybe, yeah. But I mean, one and done? Yeah, I don't know. It's not an enlistment. Excuse me. I've been snacking all day with the kids. Probably shouldn't have been. Defining leadership traits. All right. For many service members, defining toxic leadership can be fluid and varied based on their perceptions of their interactions with leaders. Yes. However, as U.S. Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart famously said about pornography in 1964, I know it when I see it. It's 1964. Fucking anything I think besides fucking kissing and missionary was fucking porn. Okay? Like, so I think it's a shitty quote, really, right? I think it's a shitty quote to pull from, right? Not to say like you don't, when you see toxic leadership that you know it's toxic leadership. I just think this quote and comparison is kind of weak to pull something from 1964, right? Fucking that long ago, weirdos. Unlike the Army, however, the Navy is neat. Yawning again. Sorry, I'm yawning. The Navy has neither an official definition of what constitutes a toxic leader, nor any prohibition against toxic leadership attitudes, motivations, and behaviors that have adverse effects on subordinates, the organization, or mission performance. All right, this is where we're going to get now. To be classified as toxic, the counterproductive behaviors must be recurrent. Okay, so now we're getting into this, right? How do we define toxic leadership? What are the benchmarks? Where is it written down? Is it counseling chits? Do we need to do a counseling chit and call it out? What else is there? What are the other tools? Getting back to that, right? What are the other checks and balances? What makes would that mess up? What makes a leader toxic? Yeah, I fucked this up, huh? What makes a leader toxic is a combination of self-centered attitudes. I skipped a whole sentence. Self-centered attitudes, motivations, and behaviors that have adverse effects on subordinates, the organization, and mission performance. I don't know. I'm blinking out here. All right, so, man, they hit some heavy ones here. Self-centered attitudes. Yeah, I think that qualifies, right? If it's only about them, me, I do this, I do that, I'm capable, they're not, it's not my fault, it's their fault, kind of not a leader, kind of a fucking, some other bad words, right? I'm trying to curse less on this, but kind of a bitch ass, if you ask me, all right? Self-centered attitudes, motivations, right? They're only looking out for themselves. Not good. And behaviors that have adverse effects on subordinates. Definitely, right? We've already talked about that's kind of the subordinate showing up and feeling like they're an enemy country. Kind of not good. The organization, even bigger. A saying back in the day, ship makes self. Some people don't like it. Just bear with me. If you're not taking care of the ship, right, and doing your part to be part of the ship and part of that overall better success of the ship and mission, why do I want you here? Why would I want to work with you? Get out of here. Beat it, nerd. And mission performance. All right, moving on. They must be, the counterproductive behaviors must be recurrent. So you got to put them on paper. You got to do something. Toxic leaders show excessive concern for themselves. Toxic leaders show excessive concern for themselves. So self-centered attitudes and motivations and behaviors and excessive concern for themselves, and fail to engage in mentoring, coaching, or professional development of their team. Interesting. They also exhibit a lack of care and respect for their subordinates and low emotional intelligence, projected as frequent emotional outbursts, a lack of self-awareness and empathy, and failure to listen to those around them. Finally, they focus on short-term results while disregarding how securing those results might affect their people. Sounds like a me person, right? And if there's anything I've ever been, it wasn't. Shit. Leave a comment if you think I've ever been a self-centered asshole, and I'll say sorry. Okay, I could give a fuck about me. Me's gonna get along just fine, right? Me's been doing it a long time. It's the same old routine. Me worries about at home and how that's going. Me worries about other people and how they're doing. I know how to show up at the 5:30 fucking Liberty expiration or whatever. You know, I know how to show up at the 4 o'clock Liberty expiration. I've done it. I've been doing it. It's what I've been doing for fucking 17 years. Tired of doing it. Got a little more to go before I can stop. But when that's all you're worried about is their self, whether it's a negative like, oh fuck, I don't want to do it, or fuck, if I can, everyone else can. What the fuck? What are we doing? All right. They exhibit a lack of care and respect for the subordinates, a low emotional intelligence. I read the whole thing already. Okay. Projected as frequent emotional outbursts. Tell me when you've met a leader at any rank or level, right? Pay grade, rating, doesn't matter, right? Where they throw that outburst, okay, and you're like, oh my God, that's the person. I want to be like them. They're such a great leader. Ain't no one saying that shit. They're like, yo, you see this fucker throwing a fit like a kid? You see this person over here acting like a little biatch, right? I'm talking about a female dog, okay? Like what the fuck is their problem? Why, like, shut up. Hey, why are you throwing a fit like that? Grow the fuck up, right? Like, just look at lack of self-awareness and self-awareness, man. That's one, right? Oh my God. You want to piss me off? Like, don't be a person that is self-aware and you're just total oblivious to how you conduct yourself and act and how your things affect other people. And be like, oh, I never knew that. Make me want to slap somebody so quick. Conversely, healthy but tough leaders exhibit concern for their subordinates and are approachable, supportive, and compassionate. They focus on mentorship and teaching and offer honest and constructive feedback. They exhibit high emotional intelligence, as demonstrated by empathy, being calm under pressure, and seeking input from others. Finally, I got a burp that's not coming out. Finally, they focus on long-term results with a tough but fair approach. Research shows that exceptional leaders demonstrate high levels of empathy and self-awareness. Right? You can be a tough leader. You can hold high standards. You can work your guys hard and long hours, and you can be right there next to them. But through that, you're approachable, you're supportive, you're compassionate, you're self-aware, you show empathy, all those things, right? You take constructive feedback from people, right? It's not just like bark, 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 go get it done, rah, 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 right? Someone comes up and be like, hey, chief, so I could knock an hour off this if I do it like this. You know what videos remind me of shit like that? If you go to Instagram and you look up like these Excel accounts, and there's like just quick little 15-second like fucking hacks to Excel where they're teaching people how to use Excel better, right? And it'll be like column A, fucked up information. A lot of times it's like names or something, right? And birth dates. And then like the boss says, break down column A with the 4 data inputs that are all in column A and put them in the next 4 columns because that's how they want it, right? First, middle, last, birth date. So you go type everything out and you're just kind of like finger jamming this whole fucking thing. And it says, no, do this. Type the first one, then Control E, and boom, you're done. Well, the toxic leader would be like, nope, I don't want that. I want you to type everything. And the tough leader would be like, cool. So since you could do it so fast, finish it and let's get to something else, right? Or I got more than just that one to do now. Since, are you an Excel wizard? Cool. Guess what? Get in the office. You're doing some Excel nerd shit now. Okay. Calm under pressure. Man, I love pressure. I work best under pressure, I think, in my opinion, right? whether it's at home or at work. You know, and at home, I know my wife, she leans on me to be that person under pressure that can stay calm and take care of things. Not that she can't, but that's our yin and yang, right? Is that I'm that person that's like, and probably to a fault, because sometimes I'm a little too like, yeah, honey, okay, it's gonna take care of itself, and then like sometimes your spouse or someone's like, no, motherfucker, I want a little bit more urgency out of you, and then you're just kind of like, oh well, I can't turn up the urgency because in my head I've already figured it out about the work thing, about this or that, right? And in my head, I'm already 2 days down the road and everything is done and taken care of. Right? The emotional outbursting person is throwing the fit right there without thinking things through. The Navy needs to correct toxic leadership. So how does it do it? All right, here we go. 360-degree feedback. God, man, 360-degree shit is so fucking catchy and prevalent out there. Whether it's Sailor 360, this 360, that 360, fucking come up with a different name or something, man. I don't know. If it's not 360, bet your ass it's going to be 365. The Navy needs to implement an accurate evaluation of leaders' competencies, behaviors, and performance outcomes, including toxic leadership traits. A 360-degree multi-rater leader performance assessment. So that's what they call it. Okay. So that's what I guess this lady's just. It's called a 360-degree multi-rater leader performance assessment, the MLPA. So we need to shorten things up. Can elicit unbiased feedback from subordinates, peers, and superiors. I need to wet the whistle. And would allow leaders to identify their positive and potentially toxic leadership traits. Right? So again, it's not just like, hey, we're going to make sure you're toxic. It's supposed to draw it out. While some warfare communities already use 360-degree assessments in specific training curriculums, rated individuals typically select. Sorry. It's getting late. I gotta get this done. Rated individuals typically select who provides feedback with inevitable bias. So if you're rating me, I would say, yeah, you can 360 MLPA me, and hey, you're my buddy. Can you do it? And you're my sister. Can you do it? And you know what? I know you two work hard for me and love the way I lead. So you two do it. But not you, because I know you fucking hate me. So I'm not picking you. Right? Similar to a command defense, a DOC survey, this 360-degree assessment should be open to any subordinate, peer, or supervisor. Damn, could you imagine that? I mean, like, it would have to be during like midterm counseling, right? But say a month, yeah, you have to do a month, maybe a week before your midterm counseling. The fucking CEO sent out an all hands email to the crew saying, it would have to be like anonymous, right? It could just be like, it would have to be a link for each person, and just like randomly attach your name to it, right? Anonymous, like your anonymous name. So it'd just be like Jack Black, and boom, send it out. And then people are like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking rate Jack Black, right? Or would I have to have the name on it? I might have to have the name on it, but then would that skew it? Would that change people's minds? I don't know. Assessments should begin at commissioning, but no later than department head screening or detailing to substantive supervisor or substantive. I don't know how to say that word, honestly. Substantive. I'm fucking that up. Supervisor roles. They should continue as leaders progress through the ranks to increasing levels or responsibility. The 360-degree assessment results should demonstrate continual positive growth throughout a leader's career. So interesting, right? It said begin at commissioning, but no later than department head screening. And this is written by Lieutenant Commander. So is she only talking about the officer side of things? Right? Because you damn well know that motherfuckers will be up in the chat rooms on Reddit talking about the most toxic leaders are the chief's mess. So when do we start screening them? When they're board eligible, and does that get submitted as part of do the results become part of the board package review process? Hey, here's Sailor B's package. Oh, also, by the way, here's their personal MLPA, whatever that stood for, right? But their personal DEOC survey of how their last command for the last 3 years views their leadership styles or leadership execution performance. By the way, for the last 3 years, their ship, squadron, or whatever has thought that they're a toxic leader. So then where does that weigh in the package and the board review process? Oh, toxic, but everything else, but the eval doesn't say it, right? Eval says, so now we're not jiving up. Now shit's not matching. So don't make sense. Oh, eval, the captain said this is the number one fucking hooyah that there is. Make him a fucking senior chief. Fuck, he could skip chief. Or she could skip chief, it don't matter. But then peer DEOC survey on leadership performance is, fuck this person. I want to hurt myself. I feel like I'm going into combat against the enemy. Like, so what gives? Or does it become part of not even the board, but you need to have 3 years consecutive outstanding leadership performance marks, not just on your eval, but via your DEOC survey. Now we might be getting into something. And you could do the same thing, apply it some kind of same way when you're screening for department head, when you're screening for XO or whatever, right? At commissioning, you do it at commissioning, you get a baseline, and now you go from there, right? A baseline, this is how, I don't know how you'd fucking create a baseline with a previous command or something. I guess you take they're going to get commissioned, so the command they're at, boom, baseline it. They get to new command within 6 months or 3 months, reporting CDB / leadership performance DEOCS evaluation, 360 assessment, and go from there, I guess. While receiving critical feedback can be stressful in the short term, one of the two results should occur. The leader dedicates himself or herself to humility by accepting the critical feedback and making a concerted effort to grow as a leader, remediate negative traits, and become more self-aware. Or the leader rejects the results and takes no action, thus perpetuating harmful and toxic traits. I like that part. You can fucking fix yourself or you don't. And then you fix yourself, you move on. You don't fix yourself, we fix it for you. Get the fuck out. The 360-degree assessment includes an evaluation of individual performance outcomes, so a commander can factor behavior and competency into ranking their officers beyond simply getting the job done. The result is a greater emphasis on leaders who demonstrate effective leadership traits while also getting the job done. Yep. Because what is the leadership, like chief eval, deck plate leadership block? Well, like how do you really quantify that? Would something like this be better, right? Would you start at a 3, get your base, so you put on chief, you get your baseline, you're a 3.0, right? Maybe you're not, maybe you start off as 2. And every year as you accrue more DEOC, 360 assessments of your leadership performance, more consecutive positive assessments would move you up your 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. A negative one would stop you. You have one positive, one negative. I can't move you up. I can't move you down. You're stuck. You train, you reassess, you move on. You grow or you don't. Get a second negative, boom, you move down. The problem with that is motherfuckers like to advance people in the Navy. Everyone feels that yes, it's part of leadership job to help, maybe is the wrong word, I don't know, to get people advanced, to motivate and lead people to advancement. But it's like there's everyone must advance attitude by any means necessary, unless you're absolute shitbag. And then we've all met them and know them, and they're out there. And then we do everything we can to make sure that we don't write that eval as good as we'd like, but we use, little excuse me, double words or words that to that person, to that sailor, sound good, but we know it's sending a different message to the other one, right? A first class that is, great team player. Cool. We'll keep that person being a first class, right? Because they're a great team player. Anyways, most leaders likely are oblivious to how those around them perceive their leadership style. That said, receiving critical feedback indicating toxic traits should not be a showstopper. Even leaders with a good heart and honest intentions can fall short in delivery, tone, and tact, which others might perceive as toxic. Yes, right? It's important that we just don't throw it all out just because some of the subordinates don't like the way it's coming across. Maybe that person just got a shitty fucking way of talking, right? I know I'm told that in different places, right? My bad. Sometimes it just comes out like that. Sometimes it comes out better, I guess. I don't know. If commanders are committed to the process, they should not offer favorable recommendations for leadership positions and promotions to those who continually receive feedback that they are toxic and fail to demonstrate change in their assessments. Agreed. One thing is clear. Traditional performance reviews with only a supervisor or commander providing feedback allow for bias and subjectivity and lack holistic, catchy word, feedback for improvement. Further, a subordinate receiving feedback solely from a supervisor can be less accepting of criticism and less responsive. By their nature, performance reviews are a subjective process and therefore allow the reviewer's biases, implicit or otherwise, to enter the conversation. By reviewing a leader's full body of 360-degree reviews, as his or her career progresses, the Navy has a much better chance of filtering out biased reviews than it does under the current superior-subordinate appraisal process. And this is part of like the Sailor 2025 eval system that the little beta trial thing was put out like back in 2017, 2018 that I saw it. And it was more of that, your senior, your junior, your peers, collective effort in grading you across a lot more trade averages and areas of performance, dependent also on your rating or designation, right? So this person, I think, probably has some insight into that or whatever, has seen it and applying it strictly to a leadership performance, right? Kind of pulling the leadership part out of the eval system and making it a bigger evaluation that's just as important as the get the job done kind of shit. Establish leadership development milestones. I think we're almost done here. Almost done. I told you it was a little bit of a long one, but I think it's pretty good. As leaders progress through the ranks, the Navy expects them to make decisions to ensure the safety of their crews and operations while under pressure. Leaders should think on their feet, know when to elicit input, and evaluate what is best for the organization. Toxic leaders fail to listen to those around them, whereas healthy leaders evaluate input from others before making a decision. Situational based, right? We should all be at the level where we understand sometimes the order is a fucking order and you need to go do it because shit's going down or something. Constructive development theory uses leadership development levels, LDLs. I thought that was like cholesterol shit. To measure leaders' capacity to understand themselves, others, and their situations. LDL consists of 4 levels that increase as leaders shift from individualized thinking to diverse. Yawns. Oh my God, guys. I'm sorry. Thinking to diverse, interconnected problem solving. It's only 10:30. It's really not that late if I gotta be real, but I'm going to be an old man. LDLs add another layer to identifying toxic leadership traits, while implementing milestones or a leadership continuum for leaders to advance or screen for increased responsibility. If the Navy adopted LDLs, it could ensure every leader from a new Divo to a CO meets or exceeds certain thresholds for decision-making responsibilities. Every leader progresses up the levels at different rate and does not move from higher to lower levels. All right, so you can't regress. You can't regress? Fuck that. And then you just get out at that point because you can regress. You could be shit hot to begin with, and then somewhere you lose it and you start being a dick. And more importantly, the higher you go up in ranking, the more important it is to not be a toxic leader, right? You impact more people. It goes further, right? So like second class, hopefully they'll learn and get out of it and get it out of their system, right? And become better. A fucking chief, a 03, a 04, something like that, right? Like you're impacting ship-wide things, not just your work center, right? Or the 3 or 4 other junior sailors that work for you down in a large division in the one work center. Okay. So anyways, the 4 levels are: level 1, leaders have a simple understanding of the world and view experience, events, and feelings in terms of fulfilling their personal goals. Situations and decisions are black and white, right or wrong. Leaders are unable to accept or consider options or input outside of their own. I read this once already. I kind of didn't. I'm like, what? So level 1 is, these are the levels of competency of a leader, I guess. So that level 1 would be like, you're a shitty leader, right? You're too simplistic minded, right? You only see black and white, right and wrong, and you are unable to accept the consider options outside or opinions outside of anyone but your own. Level 2, that's what I'm guessing, because it doesn't really like, unless I could be dumb and not understand what I'm reading. Level 2, leaders are capable of collaboration and able to consider the viewpoints of others. Moving up, they recognize the limitations of level 1 as an effective leadership style and can see the variations of gray in a situation or decision. A challenge at this level is leaders may listen to recommendations from individuals lacking expertise and may not take responsibility for their decisions as would level 3 or 4 leaders. Yeah, so we're moving up here. All right, hey, C story. LSCS, scratch that. SKCS, Carlos Lopez, USNS, Lewis and Clark, 2007, 2008. I'm on board, and this always stuck with me for my whole career, and it goes into this level 2 part. I think he was probably level 4 fucking leader, though. Maybe. I don't know. He was great for me. He told me, he's like, look, there's black and white. Everything's in the instruction. It's right there. Fucking printed on paper. You can read it and you can know how to do it. But leaders have to know how to operate in the gray areas of that black and white. And I was like, wow. I was a little fucking knucklehead 3rd class. I didn't know shit. Okay. But I was like, yeah, you know what? I fucking like that. Right? I like that. Because it is black and white. But sometimes you have to read between the lines in the gray areas to be able to get a job done or be able to take care of it and lead a sailor or whatever it is, right? So definitely, you gotta sometimes be that gray man or woman, if you know what I'm saying. Level 3, leaders reach a new level of balance in which they can shift between independent decision making and factoring recommendation from others as meaningful sources of input. Leaders at this level can evaluate traditional rules, input from others and outside sources, and balance winning and losing to establish a complex comprehension of the world. I like it. Now we're getting places, right? Now we're getting to that higher level of leadership performance, right? You're the shift between independent decision making and factoring recommendations from others, right? When do I let all the input come in? When do I give them some? When do I make it myself? Right? Leaders that live at this level can evaluate traditional rules. All right, let's look at the traditional rules. Do they apply? Can we change them? Right? Can we get some new rules in here? Input from others and outside sources. Balance winning and losing to establish a complex comprehension of the world. Man, now we're starting to play checkers. All right, we off that fucking chessboard and we're on to checkers. You know what? This L that I'm going to hold today might get me a couple dubs in the future because they think that they've won, but it's just been a setup this whole time. I'd let them win this one. I've put them in the position to start counting their chickens before they hatch. And now it's time to pay the piper. And now I'm cleaning shop, right? So I like that. Level 4. The very best leaders attain LDL 4. LDL 4. 4, 4, 4, 4. Research, I'm stupid. Yeah, research suggests only 4 to 8% of adults ages 40 to 60 reach this level. I'm not even eligible because I'm not 40. Just kidding. About I'm not 40, motherfuckers. But I'm eligible. Level 4 leaders have mastered the complex decision making of level 3 and can step back, observe, and objectively evaluate the decision making of level 3 leaders. Level 4 leaders can put themselves in other people's shoes, pushing them over the threshold of this level and making them critical to an effective organization. So if you're listening to this, right, again, link in the description notes. Read through these yourself at your pace, at your understanding, and figure out where you're at. And then think about, more importantly, who around you is at level 4. Is there anyone, right? The research suggests that only 4 to 8% of adults ages 40 to 60 reach this level. Well, where's that at? Is that like, that's number 18. Let's go to 18. 18 is Lauren S. Harris and Robert Keegan. In over our heads. Cambridge, Massachusetts, Harvard. Excuse me again. Sorry. Harvard University Press, 1998. Okay, so who are these adults? Okay, this 4 to 8%. Who are they? Are they military people? Are they civilian people? Are they corporate people? Right? Would the military percentage be higher? Because at ages 40 to 60, you're getting into the senior enlisted ranks and you're getting into the 05 and above level, right? 06, like a lot of fucking experience there. Okay, so I don't know if that would necessarily apply to some of the military ranks. I don't think it would. I would hope it wouldn't, because of the shit we see and go through and the training and the experiences that we have. I feel we should definitely be able to get more than 4 to 8% of our, we'll go E8, right? Not even the chief level. Chief level, you should be at the 7. If you're at the 4, then you should be a fucking senior chief or mass chief. You're 40 years old. If we go at the 18 entered timeline, you know what I mean? You're pushing that 20 to 22, 24, right? You should be looking at senior chief and going up, right? So you're looking at the senior and above, 05, 06 and above levels. Should be in that 4. So what's that percentage look like? A 360-degree assessment can predict LDL levels and leadership effectiveness. That means assessments can help ensure the Navy promotes leaders to positions of authority with decision-making mindset of a healthy leader. In practice, a leader should commission at level 1 or 2 and gradually progress to level 4. Well, again, though, so the author says commission. You're commissioning out of fucking college. You're at a level 0, right? Not even a level 1. I would not even say a level 1, because you don't even know what the black and white fucking says, right? If you're an LDO or something, yeah, you could be a level 1. Probably should be a level 2, right? One might even argue to me when you commissioned as an LDO from the enlisted to the wardroom side, maybe you should be at level 3. Maybe if you're like a fucking, I don't know what the limits are, but 15, 16 year fucking LDO going Warren or something, right? Maybe you should already been at level 3, but now we're grading you and you're at level 1. Might have been something fucked up about letting you get commissioned in the first place. Just my opinion. Leadership, coaching, and self-help books. There's a tangible benefit to having a trusted member of one's command to identify privately moments. I don't read right. Privately moments when tone or delivery are off. This allows leaders to identify themes or stressors that elevate the presence of harmful or toxic traits. In this vein, the Navy has implemented a relatively new program that allows active duty service members to receive training to become a My Navy coach. Oh, fuck. Here we go. The program's purpose is to deliberately... I skipped shit. What am I doing? You know I didn't. The program's purpose is to deliberately grow, broaden, and sustain development and enhance performance through personal and professional goal setting and constructive feedback. My Navy Coach is an unofficial program, but should become central to the Navy leadership development continuum. Combining 360-degree assessments with coaching and mentorship increases leadership effectiveness by up to 60%. How? Like where? That says 21. 21 is what? Elizabeth C. Thatch. The impact of executive coaching and 360 feedback on leadership effectiveness. From Leadership and Organization Development Journal 23, number 4, June 2002. I don't know, man. It's 20 years fucking old. I guess it still applies since it's in the book. The program offers an opportunity to formally establish coaching as a meaningful part of a command and performance evaluation cycle for all ranks. The program can foster peer mentorship, stronger relationships, and an overall command culture of self-growth at an organizational level. Finally, CNO Admiral Mike Gilday should consider adding a new section of books to his CNO reading list to assist sailors through their leadership journeys. Big eye roll. From there, each subsequent book should increase the leader's understanding of their personality, leadership style, strengths, and weaknesses. Once a leader has a foundation, they can use the results of their 360-degree assessment to work on weak areas and grow as a leader. Look, I get it. There's some people that are leaders out there and they fucking read all the books and they love reading and they're really good at it and they've been practicing their words and they're getting really good and they're finishing those books. And I've already had the podcast on the episode where I'm not a reader. So go back and listen to it. Like, why, like, cool. If you wanted to add another section, I've always been interested in like completing entire reading lists for one of like the MIGPON or the CNO or something. Can't bring myself to it. Probably won't ever. We'll see. Maybe I'll make it like a fucking challenge. All right. Maybe like if this video gets 1,000 views, I'll read book 1. Okay. Something like that. But like, how do you implement that into your leadership training? Like, hey, send me your book report. Tell me you've read it. I got to sit down with you and you got to give me the front to back synopsis of it. Like, what do you do to say that someone read it? I remember maybe you do like, when I was in like living in New Mexico as a kid, they had this program to encourage reading. That's when I did it. And, so you'd read a book and then there's like a standalone computer that you could go to and you would select your name and select the book you read. And it was like an electronic library. And then it would have a test on that book that would like grade your comprehension of it to see if you actually read it or not. Right. So it would have like random questions that like cover the entire story. So it'd be like, when Bob was running down the hill, what did Jim say to him that broke his concentration and where did he end up falling into? And it would have, or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying, right? And so the easier books, they might be like 5-10 questions. The harder books, 20 or 30 questions, right? So I would read my ass off, fucking crushing it, because then it was a competition too, like which fucking kid would read the most books. And I might not been first, but I was fucking up there. You know what I mean? Like, the only holding me back was like we weren't buying books, right? I was like checking them out, fucking reading them, checking them out, reading them. Other people buying them damn Scholastic books. I got my fucking private pizzas from Pizza Hut, though, motherfuckers. Okay, my little button had all the stars in it, so I was reading my damn ass off. If you know, you guys remember the personal pan pizzas for reading. You know what I'm talking about. But so would you do something like that for this? And be like, hey, JG, you should be done with book 5. I need you at the standalone to complete your assessment of book 5 to know that we read it. And then that will go with your MLPA 360-degree DOC survey. I don't know. These solutions are a waste of time and resources without organizational buy-in and accountability. And even then, it likely will take a decade to see meaningful culture change across the Navy. Yeah. Actually got me coughing, laughing. I hate when you fucking, because I didn't finish reading it all the way at the bottom, right? I stopped right here, this last section. So I hate it when you get to the bottom of something and it's like, yeah, but it's probably all a fucking waste of time anyways. God damn. Any commanding officer, however, who commits to remediating and eliminating toxic leadership can make a more immediate, meaningful impact on his or her crew's mental health and retention. These commands will take less time to see change and moral improvements and leadership development. We owe it to our sailors, ourselves, the Navy, and the nation to lead better and remove toxicity from our ranks. Look, that goes, there's the, it's a political saying, I think, right? Of like, what is it? What is it? Something about like like think global but vote local, I think is it, right? Someone help me out. Leave it in the comments or text me. I think that's it, right? We're like, you're thinking about the globe. We'll say climate change, for instance, or something. But you can't change the motherfuckers all around you down your street, whole neighborhood. All you can do is recycle your shit, right? That's what you could do. You could recycle your shit and just hope other people are doing theirs. So that last part is like, yeah, if any, like Sailor 2025 is fucking 3 years down the road, right? We got ENAFIT up, whoop, whoop, right? But are we there for the complete change yet? Maybe. Are we going to make it? How long has that been going on? Almost fucking 10 years or something? Since 15, I think, maybe? Right? So, yeah, another decade before we get this implemented. The fuck are we doing between now and then to actually make the change? To reduce the amount. It's never going to be zero, but you can reduce it, right? You're still going to have from time to time an asshole out there fucking flying off the cuff, going losing her shit or something, right? And being the toxic person. Sure. But if it can be evaluated and kind of weaned out, cleaned out, right? Or learned from and be made better, right? Then, yeah. But where do you start? Well, you start locally. You do it in your, maybe some truth in reporting on those fucking evals to begin with. If they were fucking not a good sailor, then put it down. They're not a good sailor. Don't recommend for retention. It shouldn't hurt you as a fucking leader, right? Maybe at the next, like it says at the next level, right? Any commanding officer, however, who commits to remediating and eliminating that toxic leadership can make for a more immediate, meaningful. Fucking pull the chiefs in, pull in your divos, pull in, have your chiefs pull in the first classes, right? CO signs their evals. You got toxic fucking first class? Are they not doing their part? Cool. Let's all sit down. Let's all talk about this. From the CO, the divo, the department head, everything. Hey, look, this is what I'm seeing. This is what we're feeling. This is what we're hearing. This is what we're going to do about it. You can get on board or you can get the fuck out of here. I'm with it. Because if it's me in that situation, I have no choice to be north, south, head nod, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, whatever it is, right? And go correct myself. And if I don't, then my ass is gone. And honestly, I tell people at this point in my career, if I leave, well, I'll probably get put in the corner for a little while, maybe shuffle to another ship. But, it effectively ends my career for any promotion, right? And I'm self-aware to know and understand that. So it's like, if you're not self-aware to know and understand that your career could be ended by your shitty leadership, then maybe your career should be ended because you think you could get away with shit, right? Anyways, that wraps up this episode of the Bravo Zulu podcast. Hope that was, man, I feel like it's real negative in here today. I don't know, but sometimes it just be like that, right? Don't forget, I'm not mirrored. Oh, it's on that side. Yeah, stay humble, work hard, be kind. Nikki got that for me, so I just thought I'd shout it out. Thanks, boo. This episode will be dropping whenever it drops. Again, it's Memorial Day weekend. I got the duty tomorrow. Keep those in our thoughts and prayers. God, that was so cliche. Sorry. But, remember why it's Memorial Day and keep those, in your prayers if you pray and in your thoughts if you think about them. Okay. So, that's it, man. Let's roll out and don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, turn on the ding 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 ding. I need to get some little cool fancy ones on here. Turn on the bell for notifications because sometimes we go live and we don't even know we're gonna go live. And if it touched your heart, please share it with someone else so it touched your heart too. Hey, for more information on how you can support the podcast, please visit us at anchor.fm/Bravo Zulu podcast. The information, views, and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely of myself, Joshua Moore, and the guests, and do not necessarily represent the DOD, DON, or those of the respected institutions or organizations. Thanks for joining us. Yo, one more thing. I forgot again. Shit. Hey, we'll see you next week. Later.